Hello everyone, this is part 21 of What If Naruto Traveled Back in Time and Changed, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Awagacore, Secret Chamber. Kitsuki, Akatsuki and Kuretsuki met inside the secret chamber with the orange-masked man and Deidara. They were finally able to locate the girl and fulfill their end of the bargain, which meant Kitsuki was now a puppet leader of Awagacore. I suppose we can now count on your support? The masked man asked. Yes, Madara, you can count on our support, Kitsuki said with his arms crossed over his chest. I am grateful that you saved my daughter. What are your plans to deal with the Senju boy? Overwhelming force. Even the strongest people in our organization may no longer be enough to take the boy in a one-on-one fight. Madara answered. That crazy bastard took my arm, Deidara pouted. Kuretsuki smiled, she missed Deidara and never understood why he left Iwa. We will get him back, cousin. I swear it. Kitsuki put a hand on Kuretsuki's shoulder, all in good time. Madara, if he is that strong, why don't we target his family? Deidara spoke out of turn here, that is not a good idea. That brat has fortified his homes with so many seals that it is nearly impossible to get in. I tried getting a clay clone into the Senju villa in Wave and it was taken out by some invisible seal. I tried blowing up the barrier and it didn't work. Then, the whole flippin' village chased me off. Madara sighed, my colorful teammate is right. Our efforts have been thwarted thus far. I believe we need to capture the other Biju and hit him with overwhelming force. One Biju or one Jinchuriki will no longer be enough. Kitsuki punched a wall, that damned brat. 5 days after Taki incident. Naruto and Kurama re-entered Chomei's seal and it was finally time for her to make a decision. Naruto had repeatedly applied stasis seals to Fu, but there was only so much time the seals could buy. Chomei's yokai was slowly leaking out of Fu and the seal was disintegrating piece by piece. Naruto had erected strong protections around Fu's room that shielded the room from the outside world, and it kept the yokai contained, but the two was a temporary measure. In short, Chomei needed to make her choice. Heya, Chomei. We are back. Naruto chirped merrily from across the lake. Chomei was resting next to Fu's unconscious form near the opposite edge of the lake. She was still laid upon the wooden bed, and she hadn't stirred since the stasis seals were applied. Welcome back, Naruto and Kurama. Chomei answered sadly. Sister, I am sure you can tell. It is time to make your choice. I will grieve with you for your human friend, but it is time to move forward. Kurama said softly. A brief flitter of Chomei's wings was her response before she spoke. Kurama, why do you trust this boy? Why have you tamed down so much? I can feel you are more powerful than ever, so I can't understand why you are aiding the humans. If I answer your questions honestly, will you make your choice? Chomei nodded her massive head. Because the kid earned my trust. You saw glimpses of his previous life and the war. I was synced with him for over 3 years until the bloody and terrifying end. Not only did he purify my yokai, not only did he remove and purge my negative feelings, not only did he fight against the Juubi and Kaguya Otsutsuki, but he also earned my trust. He fought for us, the Biju, the creatures humans call demons, until his dying breath. Then, he gets a second chance, and he can ask Kami, the creator of this universe, for anything. Literally anything. Do you know what he asked for? No, was Chomei's subdued response. He asked for me to be reunited and full. He asked for me to be his partner once more with the seal opened. He asked for me to be his partner in this journey. Not his pet, not his servant or slave, not his yokai generator. He asked for me to be his partner. If that isn't what father prophesied, then I don't know what is. Kurama said proudly, while Naruto had jumped onto Kurama's head and started petting him affectionately. Chomei took in the boy with bug eye she had. She was amazed by Kurama's words, and she felt herself wishing for that kind of bond. She wanted freedom, but that freedom would only come if she were left alone in the world. Now, for the first time since her creation, she wanted to experience the bond she felt between Kurama and Naruto. Very well. I will trust this child once more. What do I need to do? Naruto spoke up here. I have already set up the ceiling matrix. It will be a lot easier for you than it was for Kokuo. It is going to take a while, but I need you to focus on pushing your yokai through the link. I have stabilized Fu's seal as much as I can, so push your essence through that and into me. It will be slow, and I don't know if we can do it all in one day. Be patient with me, and as more of your yokai flows into me, we will be able to communicate with thought. Once you take form in my mindscape, focus on pulling your yokai with you through the link. Push in here, pull once you are in me. Very well, Naruto Senju Uzumaki, I am in your hands. The next day and a half Naruto remained in a meditative state with his hands on Fu's abdomen over the seal. He glowed with a light green chakra that he was guiding into the seal on his abdomen. His Mokuton ability and his Senjutsu chakra were the only things that made this possible, and the process placed a strain on his chakra network. Despite being synced with Kurama, forcing 7 taels worth of foreign chakra through his coils burned and expanded them. Once the process was complete, Naruto's eyes opened, and Fu had passed onto the pure world. 10 days after Taki incident, Naruto awoke at the crack of dawn and went for a run around the island. He had learned Azu's geography, and he enjoyed his morning run around the island. As he ran, he saw the plans for Azu flashing through his mind, and he couldn't suppress the smile that ebbed onto his face. It was peaceful, truly peaceful. Naruto's positive thoughts stirred Chomei awake in the seal. The Bug Queen had enjoyed the modifications Naruto made to the mindscape for her. Naruto erected a replica of the great tree on the opposite side of the lake from the cabin. Behind her tree, an expansive forest was erected, and she had to admit that she felt more at peace than any time in her life. The Mokuton ability was truly an amazing thing, and it helped Chomei accept her new vessel for quicker than she expected. Naruto, your homeland is truly beautiful. When will I be able to leave the seal and explore? Chomei thought through the mental link. Good morning, Cho. Well, I am still integrating and adapting to your chakra. I would say in another week we could try to let you out. Unfortunately, we will not be on Azu when that happens. Naruto thought back. That is unfortunate. I wanted to commune with the insects of this land. There is an abundance of them. Chomei pouted. Haha, I figured that was what you wanted to do. Don't worry, I promise we will return in time. First, we have to deal with the Akatsuki and get the world settled down. Naruto, you said that I could choose any vessel I wish. I thought that Biju could only integrate with human children. At least, that was the prevailing knowledge of the past. Chomei questioned. As Naruto ran up the dormant volcano of Azu, he answered, yeah, well, that would be the case if you didn't have me. My Mokuton, Senjutsu and Fuinjutsu make it possible for me to transfer you. When we return to Konoha, I will introduce you to the Aberrane clan. I am sure you will find someone you like there. Chomei blushed, or at least the insect equivalent of a blush, when she thought, and what if I prefer to stay with you? I think we could make that work. As I promised, it will be your choice. As of right now, I don't have access to your yokai because of the seal's configuration. If that is what you decide, then I will find a way to make it possible. Naruto thought back. Chomei had reviewed Naruto's memories, and she found herself somewhat smitten with the human boy. His attitude, warmth, love and tenacity were all traits that Chomei found highly desirable in any future partner. Luckily, Kurama wasn't in the seal, or he would have made fun of her for feeling such a way. Thank you, Ruto. With that, Chomei closed the link and enjoyed the warm, sunny day inside the seal. Naruto returned from his run and saw that everyone was beginning to stir. It made him happy to see the first signs of life on a previously devastated nation. He walked into the main house and saw that the Konoha group was awake. They were eating breakfast and they had prepared to depart that morning. Good morning, Itachi-sensei. Naruto chirped as he entered the kitchen. Tayuya wasn't an early riser, she wasn't a woman that appreciated overly happy men, but Kami was she a woman that could appreciate that body. Naruto was 6 feet tall, lean and every muscle was defined. It didn't hurt that he was handsome and had whiskers that made him look slightly feral. Good morning, shithead. Tayuya cut in. Naruto laughed. Good morning, Tayuya. So, sensei, when are you guys leaving? Before Itachi could speak, another person interrupted him. What am I, little brother, chopped liver? Kakashi said in a pout. Naruto laughed again. No, Kakani, you are you. Now, can everyone please let me talk to the Hokage? Itachi couldn't suppress the smile that inched its way onto his face. Good morning, Ruto. Yes, we will be leaving in an hour or so. Asuma is stable enough and I have arranged transport from Tanuku port. Good to know, Lord Kinji, are you returning with them? Yes, my boy, I will be returning to the capital. I want to get ahead of this mess with Taki. Kinji answered while Madame Shijimi pushed some more eggs and bacon onto his plate. Where are you going next, Ruto? Shikamaru asked. We will be heading to Kumo. We wanted to help Lightning Country and give them a taste of our seals. I also want to visit Turtle Island and the Sage's Temple. Naruto answered. Is it really safe for you to go to Kumo? Kakashi asked cautiously. Did you see what I did to the Iwa army? I isn't stupid and he wants to be our friend. It is easier for someone to return trust than it is to ask them to take a leap of faith. Naruto's sarcastic tone cowed Kakashi a bit. Anyway, Kakashi, I heard that Team 7 will be participating in the CrossFit workouts. Have fun with that. Kakashi's head sagged and Kiba spoke up. Yeah, I am actually looking forward to it. After fight that Kakazugai the first realized that I need to step my game up. Yip. Bark. Akamaru agreed with Kiba. Akamaru was now about half the size Naruto remembered, so Naruto tossed a piece of bacon toward the dog, who nipped it out of the air with gusto. I would advise caution against taking the workouts lightly, Kiba. Every workout leaves me panting. Shino chilled Kiba's enthusiasm. Yeah, that is what they are designed to do. Just give it your all and enjoy working out with your friends. That is what it is all about. Akamaru, do you want some weight and resistance seals, boy? Naruto said as he got down on a knee to scratch Akamaru's ears. Will they be safe for him? Kiba asked. Yeah, you already know he can use chakra. I will set it so you are the only one who can adjust the levels. All he has to do to disengage them is channel some chakra into the harness I made. You can show it to your clan and see if they want some more. Naruto answered while scratching Akamaru's belly. Cool. I will do that. Before the conversation with Kiba could continue, Naruto turned back to Itachi and asked, any word on the snake or your little brother? The mood in the room instantly sobered and Naruto knew the answer before Itachi spoke. No, we have raided multiple bases. Each of the bases Tayuya gave us were either deserted or just minor outposts. We haven't gotten any leads, but we think Orochimaru has moved out of Rice Country. Naruto thought for a bit and pulled on memories of his past, but he was coming up blank. Shit, I was hoping you would have something. So, the snake has gone completely silent. Itachi nodded. Yes, our intelligence says that he hasn't made any overt moves recently. I believe that it is a matter of time until he strikes, but until he does, we won't know. I will keep an eye out, sensei. We know he can't be in wind or water country due to the alliances. It is unlikely he is in lightning country. My guess is that he has infiltrated some minor nation again and taken it over. Just look for occurrences of repeat disappearances and you will find him sooner or later. Naruto tried to be positive while speaking about the touchy subject. So, how does it feel to be a dad, Naruto? Sakura cut in and distracted everyone from the negative thoughts. Naruto smiled a gigawatt smile. It is amazing. I mean, I don't get to do much. I am kinda missing the proper parts, but Hashi is awesome. He gives me a new reason to fight every day. Ah, Sakura pined. Sounds troublesome. Shikamaru lambasted. He is cute brat. Tayuya added. It makes me want to grow my own hive. Shino chimed in. Naruto laughed. Haha, thanks guys. Just hold off on it for a while. It wasn't in my plans, but that little man is a blessing from Kami. Now, I don't need to tell you that you are not to speak about Hashi, Suya or Kushina while in Konoha, right? Everyone nodded their understanding. The Senju family had been very forthright when expressing their concerns of people knowing about the little ones. The incident in Wave provided more than enough evidence of that fact. After a group breakfast, the Senju family and the training group walked down to the docks with the Konohans and the Fire Daimyo's entourage. Naruto disabled the whirlpools, and the groups were able to leave without incident. Ino and Temari put comforting hands on Naruto's shoulder. They are alive because of you, Ruto. Ino whispered as she laid her head on his shoulder. You did good, hubby. Temari said as she laid her head on his other shoulder. Kokuo, Kurama and Tsunade watched the trio from a way away, and it was Kokuo that spoke first. Your kid is something special. He recovered from the loss of a friend and still had the foru to do what was needed. Yeah, that's Ruto for you, Tsunade said with a sad smile. She hated how much weight the brat always shouldered. At least she was there, so he didn't have to shoulder it alone. I told you, brother. He is the one. Kurama just left it at that as he smiled fondly at the threesome on the docks. To Kumo. Hey Asami, long time no talk. Ruto. Oh my Kami, it has been so long. How are you? Really good sweetheart, we have a lot of catching up to do. Oh, I can't wait. So, where do you want to start? Well, I was thinking we could talk over some sushi and sake. You still like sushi, right? No way. You are coming here. Yay. Yup. Be at Thunderbolt Port in 5 days. Mind letting I know. Sure thing, Ruto. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Can't wait to see you. Travel safe. With heavy hearts, the Senju family left Shizune and Himawari with the babies in wave before they departed for Kumo. Everyone was concerned about the safety of the babies, so many extra measures were taken. The long-range Haration beacons in the Senju villa and the police headquarters made it possible for Naruto to respond to any threat that encroached upon the island. The detection seals, barriers and other safety measures gave Naruto a peace of mind, and the General One of Wave's SDF promised to keep an eye on the Senju family with a promise to summon Naruto at the first sign of enemy contact. With security resolved, Naruto and company set out toward Lightning Country by sea, which would take just over 3 days. Tsunade insisted on taking a cruise ship so that the family could enjoy the journey and she could get some gambling in along the way. Luckily, the Senju fortunes were massive, expansive, nearly infinite. Okay, the last one might be taking it too far, but money was not really a concern for the Senju family. Even after paying for the rebuilding of a zoo, they still had more than they knew what to do with. Therefore, everyone was okay with Tsunade losing a couple $1,000 every now and then. Thus, Naruto, Temari and Ino were cuddled up on the deck of the cruise ship and soaking in a warm summer sun and reading Naruto's new book, A Second Chance at Life and Love, as they glided over the ocean. After Ino's pregnancy, Tsunade issued a dire warning to the trio not to do it again until Akatsuki and Iwa were dealt with. Naruto had to spend a week completing an anti-pregnancy seal that was permanent, and he applied it on the small of the girls' backs just above the valley of their butt cheeks. The seal took the shape of a fox head, and the girls liked it because they said it marked them kind of like a mating mark. Woo, it is nice to get a break after all that training. Ruto, your book is amazing by the way, Temari said in an attempt to distract Ino. Yeah, Mari, you have gotten much stronger. That steam wind you developed with Kokuo is terrifying. How is your bond with Kokuo? And, thanks for the compliment, I think I only have a little editing left. Naruto asked, understanding what Temari was doing. It is awesome, it is like having a friend that has centuries of knowledge and a wealth of power that is overwhelming. Plus, I like Kokuo's personality a lot. He is like a wild stallion, all he wants is to run free and live wild. If you go along with it and enjoy the ride, it is a lot of fun. I am jealous, Mari. I understand why Naruto chose you, but now I can't even keep up with you anymore. Ino whined. She had fallen behind on her shinobi training and thrown herself into the healing arts. She worked at the hospital until she was 7 months pregnant, and she has been all about the baby since then. Then, she had to take care of the child and focus on recovery since the pregnancy took a severe toll on her body. It's okay, sweetie. You can throw yourself into training and join the true training trip now. We will get you up to speed in no time. Temari comforted Ino, still avoiding any topic that would remind her of Hashi. Yeah, babe, I am going to run you ragged. Training by day and marathons by night. Naruto chirped as he placed a kiss on her forehead. I will hold you to that, Ruto. With those top-offs from Kurama, I should be able to handle it. Ino moaned as Naruto continued his ministrations. Not in public, you two. Temari hissed. You're just jelly, Mari. Why not join in? Ino teased. Because I have a sense of decency. Temari insisted. Ho ho ho, you three are something else. A feminine voice echoed across the deck of the ship. Heya, Chomei, why don't you come and join us? I still need to get to know you. Ino screeched in an excited and girly voice as she put Naruto's book down. Chomei could now be released from Naruto's seal, and she was truly grateful for the opportunity to walk around free. In order to honor and never forget Fu, she took Fu's form when she was outside of the seal. The only difference was instead of Fu's wide orange eyes, Chomei's eyes were a vertical orange bar. Fu was a sore subject for her, and everyone knew to avoid it, but that didn't stop them from learning about Chomei's past. Chomei was one of the Biju that took on a positive aspect of humanity. Chomei was positive and resilient and could almost always find the silver lining in a shitty situation. She had a distrust of humans due to the past century's treatment, but she trusted the Senju family. The Biju struggled to move naturally in her human form, but she wouldn't trade it for anything. This was the freest she had felt since she was created. Chomei took a seat next to the trio and relaxed back on the pull chair and sat back to soak in the sun. What do you wish to know, Ino? Ino took a pensive pose. Where is your favorite place to stay? Was it in Takagakure? Chomei saddened at the thought of the city and Temari poked Ino in the forehead. Yes, that tree grew from my chakra. I was in the tree long before the formation of Taki and those filthy humans took over my home. I originally worked with them, and I was originally happy to live alongside them. I wanted to honor my father's wishes and it was all good until it was not. Naruto offered her a cheery smile. It is alright Chomei, no need to go into sad memories of the past. Tell me, have you ever been to Kumo or the Sage's Temple? We were all born in the temple, but we decided to split up many centuries ago and we tried to spread our father's teachings. I never returned to Kumo after I left, mountains were never my thing. Not enough bugs or forests. Anyway, when the Warring Clan era was taking place, we Biju tried to abstain from it. That was until Shukaku's territory was invaded and he killed a bunch of humans. Then, it didn't take long for the humans to subdue and capture him. Temari decided to ask a question. Is it true that Sunagakure was built from Shukaku's old home? Was the land of wind always a vast desert? Yes, you humans built your hidden village in brother's old home. Wind country has always been a desert as long as I lived. According to a story father told us, it was where he fought the Juubi. The fight dragged on so long that our father took too much of the natural energy and the life of the area started dying out. Even after the centuries, the land is still devoid of life. Not anymore, Chocho. I dragged up the water that was buried and I was able to grow multiple oases. And you should talk to Shukaku about the renovations I made to Suna. Naruto chimed in and ignored the ed eyebrows and confused looks at the newest attempt as a nickname. Temari giggled at her fiancé's antics. Yeah, Ruto spruced the place up quite a bit. It is quite nice, and we have multiple farms in the desert now. Plus, the city is temperature controlled thanks to a barrier that Naruto constructed. I am sure that he could even build you a habitat if you wish to settle down there as well. Chomei shook her head in the negative. I am not against visiting, but my brother is territorial. I think I will settle down in some woods. Maybe find another great tree. Cho, no, I really want a good nickname for you. Anyway, Chomei, why don't you ask Naruto to grow you a great tree? Ino asked. Chomei's head snapped toward Naruto and then she facepalmed herself when Naruto laughed sheepishly and said, well, when I find a place to settle down and the hectic business is over, I could either grow you a tree here or I could take you to the Great Jura Forest. Chomei clapped her hands together excitedly. She did it a lot and everyone assumed that it was because it was the nearest thing to her pincers clicking together. That would be most appreciated. Tell me, Naruto, if I go into another container, would I be able to be released from that container? Naruto thought for a bit. I am sure I can construct a seal like that given enough time. I am not going to promise anything, but what I will promise you is that I will do everything I can to take care of you guys. Anyone you choose would have to agree to those terms as well. My goal is for all of the Biju to be free by the end of my lifetime. Chomei could no longer contain herself and she lunged over Ino and glommed onto Naruto. She kept rubbing her face on Naruto's and squealing like a fangirl. Finally, she recomposed herself. I thank you, Naruto Senju. I don't know if I could find a vessel that I would prefer over you. Naruto looked pensive at that. Well, I am honored you feel that way. That being said, I don't wish to hoard the biju and I don't want to deny you the bond of a true partner. I am sure you have talked to Kurama, what he and I have is beyond friendship or partnership. Ino and Temari puffed their cheeks in jealousy and pouted a bit, which earned a girly giggle from Chomei. I will take your words to heart, Ruto. The rest of the vacation journey was a glamorous retreat from the strain of daily life. It was cathartic and appreciated by every member of the training trip. Naruto and Q picked up an interesting scent from Gaara and Hinata before Shukaku walked over with a face-cracking smirk on his face. The formerly crazed Tanuki confirmed Naruto's suspicions and he simply offered a bro clap to Naruto's shoulder. Hinata saw this and blushed a cherry red, which made the guys laugh heartily until sand spears appeared out of nowhere and attempted to impale the 3 male members of the training group. That was the scene that greeted Team Yugito as they were waiting for the training group to dismount from the boat. Karui was jealous of the cruise the group took. Yugito and Samui were smiling wistfully and Omoi ran up to get his greeting hug from Tsunade. As Omoi passed out once again, everyone else made their way down the walkway. The greetings were exchanged that Team Yugito was integrated seamlessly into the training group. Yugito was close to Anko and Rias, Samui joined Naruto, Ino and Temari, Omoi was chatting up Gaara and Hinata and Karui was chatting up Shukaku and Chomei. The trip to Kumo only took 2 days and the group enjoyed the leisurely pace. Naruto noticed something odd and spread his senses out as he was laying in bed. Gaara and Hinata were sharing a tent, which really didn't surprise Naruto. The surprise was Yugito joining Anko and Rias in their tent. Upon reflection, Naruto realized that he shouldn't be surprised at all. Then, he sensed Samui relaxing in a tree as she was on her shift of the night's watch. Naruto created a clone and substituted with it so as not to disturb his girls. Naruto appeared next to Samui and created a wider platform on the tree branch that allowed him to sit down and swing an arm over her shoulders. Samui shamelessly accepted the offer and cuddled into Naruto. She really missed his warmth and despite trying to move on, she often found herself thinking about her time in Konoha. How ya been, Sammy? Naruto asked softly. Samui moaned as she snuggled into Naruto's shoulder. I have been good. Really focused on my shinobi career. This was actually the first time that Team Yugito has worked together in a while. Oh yeah. Why is that? Naruto asked softly, truly appreciating the opportunity to reconnect with his friend. Well, after your messages to the Raikage, he decided that Yugito and B would be a permanent tag team until the Akatsuki are dealt with. So, they have been running rank missions together since the Chunin exams. Speaking of which, how are you holding up? Naruto sighed, that's crazy. I am glad that the Raikage took my warning seriously. A month ago I actually fought against the Akatsuki. My friends were in Taki, and they were after the 7 tails. My friends got hurt pretty bad and Fu, the Jinchuriki, ended up dying. Samui gasped before Naruto rubbed her shoulder and continued. It is all right. I went in and fought off Kakazu. He fled with his tails between his legs when he was down 3 hearts. Then, I killed Hiden the Jashinist before he could finish off Team 10. Samui sat up and looked into Naruto's eyes and saw he was deadly serious. Ruto, that's nuts. Naruto shrugged and pulled her back into his arms. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Honestly, Kakazu isn't the scariest guy in the Akatsuki. Hiden was a chump that relied on his immortality. I don't want to talk about them though, tell me more about you. Samui moaned in comfort as she fell back into Naruto's warmth. Well, not too much to tell. I will be taking the Jonin exams in a couple months and I have taken my training seriously. I think Kumo will become a full ally of Konoha soon. Samui stopped and giggled here. That is if the civilians don't piss you off. The Raikage ranted for days about your stupid civilians, and I would expect multiple invitations to join Kumo if I were you. Naruto chuckled under his breath, I can handle I. Truth be told, I want to deepen my bond with Kumo. If I can get 4 of the Great 5 together, then I think it will be that much easier to make the world a better place. Samui sighed wistfully and offered a prayer to Kami, you know, Ruto, if it weren't you, I would say that changing the world isn't possible for one man to do. That's the thing, Sammy, I am not doing it alone. You know my training group, you know my friends in Konoha, and there are also my allies in Wave, Suna and Kiri. I am far from alone. What about you? Any boys in Kumo step up to the plate? Nope. Samui answered coolly. That's a crying shame, they don't know what a cool girl they are missing out on. Naruto tightened his hug. Why don't you join the girls in our tent? I will take over the watch. Okay Ruto. Thank you. Samui responded sleepily. The next day, the group made it into Kumo, and they walked with Ai up the mountain to the Raikage's tower. Rather than have the whole family join in the madness, Tsunade brought Naruto and I brought in Mabui, Darui, Yugito, B and Shi. The rest of the group was taken to a temporary home for dignitaries that was next to the Raikage's mansion. I stood up and opened his arms with a big smile on his face. Finally, the Senjus graced Kumo with their presence. Welcome to Kumo, so what can we do for you during your stay? Tsunade let Naruto speak up. First, Lord Raikage, thank you for welcoming us into your beautiful village. Second, I think we should talk about the Akatsuki. I fought 2 of their members in Takagakure and there are some developments you need to be made aware of. I nodded. I heard Taki was attacked, but I didn't know that you were involved. Naruto proceeded to recount the Taki incident and left out the parts about Chomei now residing within his seal and the parts about Nuazu. I listened intently to the story of Naruto's fight and got a bloodthirsty smirk on his face. Then, his mood turned somber when he heard about Fu dying and the damage to shinobi such as Kakashi Hatake and Asuma Sarutobi. After Naruto completed his tale, the room remained silent for a minute or two before B spoke up. Yo, ain't no need to be down, those fools can't handle the brown. B pointed toward his skin when he said this before continuing in his usual, arrhythmic fashion. If the fools step toward the kitty, then they will have to deal with the killer B, we. I subjected his brother to the Iron Claw and ended the impromptu rap. B. What have I told you about speaking in that incessant rap when we are in serious meetings? Naruto and Tsunade were chuckling while Kurama and Chomei were laughing heartily at their brother's container. Naruto spoke up for B. It is actually appreciated, Lord Raikage. He broke everyone out of the negative mood. I guess you could say we appreciate his attitude. Ain't no need to make a racket, the Senju family knows Killer B can back it. B cried tears of joy despite the pain of his brother's technique and the Kumo group looked at Naruto with dropped jaws. It was clear to them that Naruto actually rapped well, which would only encourage B's rapping. Before B could respond, Yugito clamped her hand over his mouth. Lord Senju, we would all appreciate it if you didn't encourage his behavior. Yugito said in a pleading voice. Tsunade laughed. Oh come on, it isn't that bad. Back to business though, we heard that you have Yugito and B tag teaming. That is a good solution. I don't think anyone except the leaders of the Akatsuki could pose a serious threat to those two together. What have you heard from Iwa? I turned serious, his smirk turned into a scowl, and he growled lowly. Well, we believe that they allied with the Akatsuki. There are also reports of shinobi walking around in Iwa. Naruto nodded. Yeah, so I know I can trust you guys, but I am going to need your utmost discretion. Does everyone agree to keep everything said here an absolute secret? If this spreads, it would put my family at risk. Everyone was nodding but Tsunade looked panicked. Ruto, you don't have to tell them about that. Naruto put a calming hand on Tsunade's shoulder. Mama, if I want them to trust me, then I need to show I trust them. So, can I count on your silence? I looked around at the people in his room. He activated the privacy seal that was on his desk. He had already told his bolt to leave the room and now the room was secure. Naruto, I trust each of these people with my life. You have my word as the 4th Raikage that anything you say here will be held in the utmost confidence. Naruto took a deep breath, closed his eyes and spoke. When my son was born in Wave, Iwa sent a team of 12 Jonin-level shinobi to kidnap my son. Luckily, we had allies in the area at the time. After that attack was foiled, I encountered Deidara the Mad Bomber flying over the city. I shot him down and took off one of his arms, but he got away. I believe the Akatsuki, Iwa and Am are allied together. The Kumo group was frozen, completely unable to respond to the information. This kid just told high-level foreign shinobi that he had a male heir. Not only that, but Iwa wasn't as isolated and crippled as everyone thought. Once again, it was B that snapped the group out of it by embracing Naruto in a bone-crushing hug. Congratulations little bro, we should celebrate show. In between gasps of breath, Naruto was slapping Killer Bee on the back in a pleading motion for air. Bee got the message and set Naruto down, and Tsunade sighed deeply before she set a fiery gaze on Ai. Look, I am choosing to trust you. Don't make me regret it. I would listen to her, Lord Raikage. If she goes all out, then this mountain would only take a single punch. It really hurts when she connects, Naruto added playfully. Tsunade groaned and facepalmed herself. Brat, that isn't the kind of thing you say when you are visiting a foreign village. Naruto shrugged, it isn't that big of a deal. I can do it, you can do it, Gaara can do it, Bee can do it, and I am fairly sure Temari could do it. Look, Lord Raikage, we are not threatening you or your people. I would never do such a thing. What we are promising is death to anyone that attempts to attack my family. I sighed, I have let monsters into my home. Naruto belted out a laugh. Nah, you let powerful allies that are willing to help your nation into your home. I looked up with a smirk at this. So, boss, what work do you have for us? I smiled a full, toothy smile. Don't worry about that today. I will get a honey-do list together for you. Now, I heard that you wanted to visit Turtle Island and the Sage's Temple. Naruto nodded enthusiastically. Yes, I have talked to Kurama, Chomei, Shukaku and Kokuo, and they all told me that I need to visit the Sage's home. Once again, the group was stunned by the casual name-dropping of 4 Biju. It was Yugito that spoke up. Matatabi wishes to know how you communicate with 2 Biju whose hosts died. They should have died and been in the process of reforming. Naruto shrugged and told a half-truth. I am probably the second, no third, yeah, third best sage of all time. I could commune with the natural energy while they were reforming. Yugito narrowed her eyes, catching the fact that she wasn't getting the whole truth. A quick look at Bee let her know that he sensed the same thing. Before they could say anything, I spoke up once more. This all sounds fun, Naruto, but I heard about your battles with Tsunade. I request an official spar at some point during your trip. Your father was my previous rival and I have had nobody contest my speed since he died. Plus, I still owe you for that workout you gave me. I finished with a smirk. Naruto shrugged. Okay. Let's do that as a send-off. It will be my final test for the training trip. I know you are fast, and I guess Cage aren't really in the bingo book. Tell me, Lord Raikage, what would you say your threat ranking is? I put a thinking hand to his chin and nodded to himself. Well, I would say very high, S rank. I can't grow a forest or wipe out thousands in a minute, but in one-on-one combat I would say I am king. Ai's smirk grew truly feral as he finished his statement, which got Naruto going. Naruto matched Ai's smirk. Very well, I will fight you as an equal at the conclusion of my time in Kumo. I will go all out, and I request that you do the same. In the meantime, would you like a workout buddy? I belted out a laugh. Tsunade, I love your brat. How long should I keep my morning and evening schedules clear for? Naruto looked to Tsunade, who shrugged. Well, I have about 11 months until I need to be back in Konoha. I will need to stop by Wave and sooner on our way home. Let's say 7 months. During that time, the Senju family will take sealing and non-combat missions for Kumo. We have been authorized by Itachi to conduct preliminary negotiations for a treaty between Kumo and Konoha. On another front, Wave is looking for trade partners. After a month performing minor sealing missions in Kumo and the Lightning Capital, Naruto felt that it was finally time to go to the Sage's Temple. Turtle Island was a 3-day journey from Kumo and Naruto wanted to spend some quality time at the temple. I informed Naruto that the temple was staffed by monks that had committed themselves to studying the Sage of Six Paths and that they had a very strict etiquette while in the temple. Thus, Naruto decided for his first journey to the temple to be alone, other than having Killer Bee as his escort. As he traveled with Bee, a fond smile graced his face as he thought over the previous month in Kumo. Tsunade and Kurama had made it official, and they asked his permission to use his body once the Akatsuki were dealt with. Man, the lucid dreams of Tsunade and Kurama were distracting, and Naruto truly didn't know how to feel about it. It was a truly unique situation, so Naruto resigned himself to being happy for his mama and soul brother. Shaking off those thoughts, Naruto thought about rekindling his friendship with Samui, Omoi, Karui and Yugito. They were great friends and Naruto counted them among his precious people. Samui specifically spent a lot of time with the Senju family, even when the training sessions were over. She bonded with Ino and Temari. Evidently Naruto missed something because Ino and Samui were very close, and that relationship spread to Temari. Regardless, it was great seeing Samui's smiling face alongside the Senju family. Leaving him behind is never easy, but Ino and Temari almost seemed excited to shoo him off to the sage's temple. Yugito was close to another pair in the Senju family, and she wasn't even being discreet about it. The first time the beautiful Kumo blonde joined the Senjus for breakfast in Anko's white t-shirt and her panties made it super clear to everyone what was going on. Rias and Anko were always free spirits and it seemed like they found a friend of sorts in Yugito. Her presence also became a fixture in the Senju's guest house, and nobody seemed to mind her presence. Omoi and Karui were not as close, but they were present as well. They really enjoyed the CrossFit workouts and the vibes of the training group. Omoi was closer to Hinata and Gaara and it seemed like that was their niche within the family. Everyone missed Omoi's worst-case scenario rants, and they were happy to play into the paranoia. Omoi took it gracefully and Karui laughed her ass off. Naruto also gave Karui a communication scroll and flashed back to Konoha to give the counterpart to Chuji, which Karui was grateful for. She tried to play the hardass, but she was just a teenage girl at heart. I kept Naruto, Rias and Naruto's shadow clones busy. They had set up a total of 10 chakra null zones in training grounds, they had helped with a plumbing issue in the mountain through creative use of seals and they had shown I how to develop some of the land around the mountains for agriculture. I also had Naruto grown a not-so-small national park with hope that the local wildlife would seek refuge in the cover. It made the area around Kumo greener and the people seemed to enjoy it. As the 3-day travel came to an end, B got more serious as they approached the temple that resided in the center of Turtle Island. Evidently, the ancient turtle was one of the boss summons that the sage summoned in the good old days. The creature agreed to watch over Kumo for the sage, and it took its job seriously as it traverses the seas around Kumo. That made it an effective guardian of the sage's temple and the other various creations of the sage. As Naruto walked up the seemingly endless staircase to the temple, B informed him that he would need to leave all weapons outside and he would have to change into monk's robes to even enter the temple. That didn't bother Naruto much and he readily agreed to those conditions. About halfway up the staircase, there was a plateau with an inn managed by the monks that Naruto was going to stay at. This is where B handed Naruto off, and he got set up for the night. In the room in his inn, he immediately set up some security seals and placed a Horatian beacon. He wasn't going to flash back to Kumo until he had explored the temple, but he was going to make sure that he could return to the inn and secure his equipment in a flash. That being said, Naruto closed his eyes and tried to focus on the coming day and the task in front of him. He was hoping that he could attain the state of enlightenment that Hashiram wrote about so passionately in his journals. He drifted off to a peaceful sleep during his meditation and he enjoyed the peace of sweet dreams. The next day, a monk prepared breakfast for Naruto before escorting him the rest of the way to the sage's temple. Naruto was in green, high-collared monk's robes with a light brown sash to tie it together. The outfit was plain and simple, but it was comfortable and seemed like the right outfit for such an occasion. As Naruto crested the peak of the staircase, he saw an ancient temple that was obviously created from some jutsu of the sage and the walls were regal and pristine, despite the centuries that attempted to wear it down. Naruto approached with the monk and bowed to the trio of monks that greeted him at the gates. They were also in light green robes except for the lead monk who was an old man in white robes. The man bore a Magatama crest of each of his collars and introduced himself to Naruto. Welcome to the temple of the great sage, Naruto Senju, we have been expecting you. His voice was old and leathery, but it held a calm and power that Naruto instinctively respected. Naruto bowed formally to the monk, "Thank you for having me, elder. I appreciate the opportunity to learn from you and explore what the sage has left us." The geezer monk nodded and beckoned Naruto into the temple. There was a massive courtyard that operated as a sort of training ground for the monks. Naruto was surprised to see 20 monks working through katas while other monks were meditating in the gardens around the temple. Everyone was quiet and respectful, and Naruto assumed that it was just the way they did things here. The elder led Naruto into the first sanctum and had him take a seat at a low table before the monk sat down into a practiced Caesar-style seated position. "Tell me, Lord Senju, for what reason have you come to the sage's temple? Naruto thought over his answer for a bit before responding, Elder, I am a troubled soul with a great task laid in front of me. I am the Jinchuriki of Kurama, the eldest son of the sage, and I have been given the task of leading the world into a new cycle. The elder nodded, yes, the memories of your past life weigh you down. The monk put up a calm hand to stop Naruto's response. 15 years ago, we all felt the passing of the great sage. We could no longer sense his presence in the time stream, and we initiated our search into the root cause of this. Through my meditations, Kami appeared to me and told me that it was her doing and that we were to guide her chosen when the time came. Meddling goddess, Naruto thought before he heard the ethereal chuckle in his mind. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. It saves some time and spares me the necessity of deceit. In return for your honesty, I will share my story with you. The elder monk nodded, and Naruto shared his story with the monk. He listened quietly with rapt attention while intermittently stroking his long gray beard. As the story came to its natural conclusion, the elder nodded once more and hummed for a bit while he thought. The monk seemed to process this information for 10 minutes before his eyes opened slowly and he spoke to Naruto. Before your altars can find peace, you must find your inner peace. Once you understand your role in the world and let go of the past, then you will be able to reach enlightenment. Be warned, Naruto Senju, this will not be an easy task. Naruto nodded softly and spoke, thank you for your guidance, elder. My goal is to understand the sage's teachings and learn ninju. I wish to unite the world and move it in the right direction. I have taken strides to accomplish this, and I have many trusted and precious people who have joined me in this task. I humbly request your guidance. Naruto bowed his head to the elder of the sage's temple. The elder chuckled lightly, very well, Naruto Senju. We have seen your work and felt your power. We will work with you and train you in the sage's way. The following 5 days, Naruto didn't leave the temple once. He didn't eat, sleep or drink at all. He remained in a meditative trance guided by the elder of the temple. The elder instructed him in the teachings of ninja and helped Naruto understand and connect to his chakra first. It went beyond Naruto's journey to the seal, and it went beyond shaping or guiding his chakra. It was as if Naruto was riding the flow of his chakra through every tenketsu while getting to know it by name and nature. The tough part of this first task was not letting his meditation take him externally. As a sage, he was always connected to nature and that connection had always taken precedence over the connection to his inner self. Thus, the first day was focusing on meditation separated from the outside world. The elder helped Naruto in this task by placing him in a room that was sealed off from the outside world. Evidently, the sage used this room for inner meditation because his sage mode was so powerful that he could feel everything in the elemental nations when he was in sage mode. Thus, a room created to help one center oneself and practice on focusing internally. The internal exploration was an eye-opening process for Naruto. By learning who he was, he found peace and understanding in the processes of the world. By making things right in his own body, his own temple, he could more easily make things right in the world. Sure, it was a monumental task, but it would only be possible if Naruto could reconcile himself and see the path forward. After the 5 days in the room of isolation, Naruto took a full day to recover and rest himself in the inn. The elder told him to do this because his hardest task would face him when he returned to the temple. Naruto took the elder's warning seriously and he ate, rested and recharged at the inn until the morning of the 7th day. Upon returning to the temple, Naruto was greeted by the elder and all 40 monks that lived in the temple. Naruto Senju, today you will confront your past. Today, you will accept your future. Today, you will learn to live in the present. Come with me. The elder spoke in an authoritative tone. Naruto didn't speak, he simply followed the elder and the 40 monks followed him into the temple. They walked around to the back side of the temple where a small reflective pool lay in the center of a trimmed, grassy patch. Naruto followed the elder's example when he stripped off his robes and placed them on a stone table. He walked through the cool mountain air completely exposed to the elements and nature. He was so caught up in the calm trance that surrounded the temple that he didn't mind his nudity or the nudity of the elder monk. The 40 monks formed a prayer circle around the grassy patch and pool and they all started humming in a deep and rhythmic tune. It was beautiful, menacing, hopeful and dark at the same time. All of their eyes were closed, but Naruto could feel that they were all connected spiritually to one another. The chant calmed Naruto's mind and prepared him for the task ahead of him. Young one, to accept one's past means to accept everything. Understand that the past was meant to stay where it is, and it is not meant to be shouldered by those that live in the present. I wish you luck, Naruto Senju. The elder spoke as he stepped into the pond. Naruto followed him in and was pleasantly surprised by the natural warmth of the water. He accepted the elder's hand and let the elder guide him into the water. The elder met his eyes briefly and Naruto felt connected to the man and the man to him. It was deep and spiritual, displaying a level of trust that should be foreign to strangers that met a week ago. Despite that, Naruto felt like he could trust this man implicitly and he relinquished himself to be dunked in the pool of reflection. Naruto's eyes snapped open, and he was in an ethereal white plane. He understood that this wasn't his mindscape or Kami's realm, but this was something else entirely. Then the landscape morphed and turned into Konoha. Images of Naruto's childhood and all of the feelings that came with it assaulted his senses. He couldn't keep track of it all, but he experienced it. It felt overwhelming, endlessly, torturous, lonely and full of despair. The assault stopped and a memory of the past flashed into clarity and paused. Naruto was in the Hokage's office with Hiruzen and Sarutobi sitting behind the Hokage's desk while dressed in his robes. The elder looked down on Naruto with a look that was a mixture of regret, kindness, sorrow and pity. Naruto felt all of Hiruzen's emotions as well as the emotions of his child form in the room. He calmed his mind, took a deep breath and processed everything. Once he had attained the proper mental state, the memory started playing. It was the morning he was released from the hospital after his 8th birthday. It was the day that Naruto decided never to show anyone his true self again and he firmly fixed his mask upon his face. It was the worst beating Naruto ever received and the Anbu didn't step in until Naruto was raised on a cross and whipped ferociously. By that time, his arms and legs had already been broken and his body was a complete mess. Naruto closed his eyes in pain as he remembered this event. He remembered how completely broken he felt, how betrayed he felt and the rage he felt when the Anbu that had been there the whole time finally stepped in. It was overwhelming and intense and the sorrow and rage gripped Naruto's heart and tightened his chest. It took a monumental effort for Naruto to unclench his fists and accept that happened in the past. This didn't happen in this lifetime. Sure, the people of Konoha may have, and probably would have, done it in this lifetime, but they haven't done it yet. It took Naruto an indefinite amount of time to accept this memory alone, but after he accepted it, processed it and left it in the past, the next memory took form. Sasuke was standing in the Valley of the End with his electric hand piercing through Naruto's chest. The painful sensation immediately assaulted Naruto along with the feelings of betrayal, loss and failure. Once Naruto processed those memories, he could feel what Sasuke was feeling in that moment, and it honestly surprised Naruto. Sasuke felt an immense sense of dread, fear and regret. He dreaded and feared that he may have actually killed the one person in the world that he could call a friend. He regretted pushing the one person who was there for him away. He was also overwhelmed by the grief and rage he suffered through daily due to the loss of his clan. Those feelings were where Naruto felt the insistent urging of the toxic cursed seal on Sasuke's neck. Naruto understood Sasuke on a more in-time level than ever. Naruto rebelled against this feeling. He didn't want to understand the traitor. He didn't want to accept the betrayal of his best friend. He couldn't accept it because it was this man that eventually stole everything from him and ended the world. Sure, it wasn't this Sasuke, this child. It was an older Sasuke, but this teenage boy would grow into the epitome of evil. How was he supposed to accept this? It was at that point that Naruto felt a phantom sensation on his shoulder blades and he remembered that he was in the arms of the elder. He was in the pool of reflection. This was the past and he needed to find a way to leave it there. As Naruto looked at the frozen memory, he frowned deeply and realized why this task was so hard. Just like himself, Sasuke was a kid swept up in the tides of the time. There were so many foreign and evil influences on his friend that Naruto couldn't honestly blame Sasuke himself. There were the fates, Orochimaru, Itachi's perceived betrayal, Konoha's perceived betrayal, Indra's influence and so many other things that drove this man to the brink and caused him to drag the world down with him. It was at that point that Naruto understood. Sasuke was a child with a similar and inverse destiny to his own. Sasuke was just as overwhelmed throughout his whole life as Naruto was. Sasuke felt just as betrayed as Naruto did. Sasuke was just a kid. At that moment, Naruto went and embraced Sasuke from behind and the memory dissolved into pixels of light. A sense of calm and understanding swept over Naruto and he was able to move forward. The memories continued in this fashion for an unknown length of time. All of the unresolved pain and regret that had tethered itself to Naruto's soul was processed one memory at a time. The purification of Naruto's soul was painful, dreadful and yet completely necessary for him to accomplish his given task. As the weight was chipped off piece by piece, Naruto felt light overwhelm him and he awoke back in the real world, back in the sage's temple, back in the arms of the elder. Welcome back, Naruto Senju, now you are ready to understand your future. The elder said while the monks remained in their rhythmic chant. Thank you, elder. Back in Kumo, while Naruto was at the sage's temple. Ino was sitting by the pool with Temari, Rias, Anko and Yugito. All 5 girls were reading a copy of Naruto's new book and they were completely oblivious to the outside world. The book demanded their attention and all they wanted to do was keep reading. Thus, Ino didn't notice when Samui sauntered up to her side until she saw down on the pool chair and cuddled into Ino. What you reading, Blondie? Samui asked. Ruto's new book. Didn't you get a copy? Ino said without looking away from the book. Samui pouted and tried to take Ino's book, which earned her a punch in the OWW. Not cool, Ino. And it is totally not cool that Ruto didn't give me a copy. Temari giggled, well, we are his fiancés. Samui's pout was on epic levels now. Then why do Rias, Anko and Yugito have one? Anko belted out a laugh, I am family and Yugito is, well she is. My toy. Rias chirped. Samui knew about Yugito joining the lesbian couple, but she still had an eyebrow. A toy. How are you able to do that? This comment earned a giggle from Anko and a severe blush from Yugito. Rias got a devious smirk on her face. Let's just say that there are many uses for a transformation jutsu. Samui blushed a cherry red. If only she knew that Rias herself was a transformation. Oh. Okay. Well, can I get a copy? Ino sighed, Sammy, Ruto is at the temple, and I don't know where he keeps these. But, you can cuddle up next to me and I will start from the beginning. Samui kissed Ino on the cheek and thanked her before cuddling into her and reading. This caught every eye at the pool, which was luckily only the training group. Hinata giggled as she cuddled into Gaara and read her copy of the book. I don't know how much longer we should stay here. Hinata whispered softly. Gaara had an eyebrow and placed a kiss on top of Hinata's head. What do you mean, Hinaheim? Hinata nodded her head toward Samui and Ino. If we stay here, Samui is going to get involved and things will get complicated. You think? I don't know about that. Gaara replied monotonously and returned to reading over Hinata's shoulder. A couple days later, Samui had taken the girls out to a karaoke bar, and everyone was enjoying the drinks. The busty blonde was watching Ino sing with a fond smile, and she was leaning against Temari. Temari was watching her future sister-wife cut loose and she also had a fond smile on her face. Samui decided to probe deeper. So, Temari, you didn't strike me as the bi type of girl. Care to share? Temari giggled, oh, I wasn't. I really wasn't. That was until Ruto told me everything and it all snapped into place. I understood why he loved me and Ino at the same time. Watch your lover plow into another woman enough times and you don't feel like just watching anymore. Taste the softness and goodness of that woman and then it just feels right. I am not bi, not really, I just love Ino. And Ruto is okay with that. Samui probed deeper. Temari giggled, you should have seen him blush after the first few times. He is so genuine and open with us that everything just fell into place. It was Samui's turn to giggle, yeah, a little too well into place. How is being a co-mom with Ino? Temari smiled wryly at Samui, look here, Sammy, we are one big family. We all love each other and help each other out. I love baby Hashi and everyone else in my big, crazy family. Just don't bring Hashi up with Ino right now, she is really missing him. Then why didn't you bring the children with you? Samui asked, genuinely not understanding why they didn't. Security. Ruto has taken his first shot at the Akatsuki and there is a whole country that would love nothing more than to kill us and the rest of his family right in front of him. Temari said with a sad tinge to her voice. Oh, sorry for asking. Samui said sheepishly. What about you, girlie? Why are you so interested in us? Old flame for Ruto coming back? Temari asked. Samui's eyes widened and Temari giggled. Don't worry, Naruto has told us everything and we don't hold it against you. Samui adorned a sad and reflective look on her face. Yeah, well I guess it kind of is. I tried to force myself to move on. I tried looking at other guys and giving them a shot. I even went on a couple dates. But you know what? None of them, not a single damned one of them, made me feel like Ruto did for those 6 months I was in Konoha. Temari pulled Samui into a hug, which Hino jumped in and joined since her song was done. Look, Sammy, I understand. I am sorry for what it is worth. Samui was trickling tears onto Temari's chest. It's cool, it is not your fault. It is my fault for being jealous and not being able to move on. I just want one night to feel that love, that warmth and just feel like everything is going to be okay. A look of understanding flitted across Ino's face, and her eyes softened. I understand, Samui. We both do. But what if one night just makes these feelings stronger? I don't know, Samui whispered. Sage's Temple 10 days into meditation. Naruto was in full swing with the elder and other monks now. He had graduated from himself and he was learning to deepen his connection with nature, which was extremely potent within the Sage's Temple. The currents of the air rippled across the imposing faces of the mountain and flit between majestic peaks. It was the same kind of nature that he experienced in Konoha. It wasn't the same kind of life energy, but it was just as potent. That was part of his lesson. Senjutsu chakra didn't just come from plant life or other living beings. It was the energy of the world that called to him, and it was this energy that he could use to connect to the world in a way that seemed godlike. It became clear to the elder and other monks that Naruto's prolific connection to nature was on a whole other level from their own. The aura around him while he meditated and connected with nature was far deeper than anything they could hope to attain. As if proof of this was needed, when Naruto was meditating, the Senjutsu chakra began forming magatama on his robe and the markings on his face changed from a forest green to a more golden blonde color. His eyes went from emerald green to golden and the elder started to bow to Naruto when he entered this mode. There were only 3 magatama on his chest, but it signified that Naruto was approaching a sage mode similar to that of the Sage of 6 Paths. Naruto was so taken aback by the elder bowing to him that he lost his concentration and the mode faded back into traditional sage markings that he had become accustomed to. Lord Senju, you have completed your mastery over yourself, and you have enhanced your connection to nature. I believe it is time for you to bring the rest of yourself here. The elder said respectfully. As you wish, elder. I thank you for your guidance. I will return in 1 week's time with my full self. Naruto replied in a calm tone. Very well, Lord Senju, we await your return. Kumo, Senju Guest House 1.5 months in Kumo. Naruto flashed back into the Senju Guest House with ease from the inn near the Sage's Temple. He had reserved the room to keep the Horatian beacon and prevent the need for the 3 days of travel again. Naruto appeared in the living room and sensed that everyone was out back by the pool. It was a nice summer night, and the cool air was truly refreshing. Naruto opened the screen door to the backyard and was greeted by the whole training group plus Team Yugito, Ai and Mabui. Naruto smiled when he saw Ai and Mabui were snuggled up together on a pool chair. Good evening everyone, how are we all doing? Naruto said cheerfully as a return to the greeting. Good bud, how did it go at the Sage's Temple? Tsunade asked. Naruto's gigawatt smile nearly cracked the edges of his face. It went great. It really helped me get my mind right and I was able to take the next step in my senjutsu training. Kurama smiled next to Tsunade. So, you are even stronger now. Naruto smirked at Kurama. You know how your old man had 9. Kurama nodded hesitantly. Well, let's just say I reached 3. Kurama's jaw fell. Chomei slipped into the pool and Matatabi was freaking out inside of Yugito's mind. Kurama growled at Naruto's laughter before he spoke up. How is that possible when you don't even have the Rinnegan? Naruto shrugged. The Magatama are a mark of the world and signify the connections to the domains. I assume that I am able to connect to 3 of the domains and it will take me much longer to discover and sync with the others. What the hell are you even talking about, Ruto? Rias asked. Don't worry sis, I will have to show each of you for you to understand. In 1 week, you all will accompany me back to the sage's temple. This comment went over a few of the heads, but everyone present knew of the altars. Evidently, Sunad had spilled the beans at some point throughout the week. Will we still be separate or are we going to reintegrate? Yami asked hesitantly. Naruto beamed an understanding smile at him. I do not know. The elder told me that we must all make peace with one another and I know that he is speaking the truth. You changed that much from 10 days in a temple? I asked using Innis to mask his confusion. Lord Raikage, have you ever been to the temple? Have you ever been to the waterfall or entered the pool of reflection? Naruto asked already knowing the answer. No, kiddo, those are for Jinchuriki. I answered. And what makes you think they were meant for Jinchuriki alone? Is it only the Jinchuriki that have a dark side? Is it only the Jinchuriki that would benefit from self-exploration? Naruto asked and got silence in return. Everyone was blown away by the changes from Naruto. Who are you and what did you do with my Ruto? Ino asked sarcastically. Your Ruto is right here, love. Cleaner and unburdened by the weight of the past. Don't worry, I am sure I will stop talking like a monk after a couple days. Naruto said with a wry smile. Ino laughed and jumped into Naruto's arms before she placed a loving kiss on his lips. Good, because you are mine and I am yours. What am I? A side piece? Temari chirped before she jumped on Naruto's back. No, that would be Samui. Anko attempted a joke, but nobody was laughing. Samui's face fell, and she remained in a somber mood for a while before giving up on the night and walking home. Naruto noticed the sudden change in Samui's feelings, and he gave each of his girls a kiss before catching up with her. Can I walk you home? Naruto asked as he caught up with Samui. Samui smiled sadly at him as he placed his arm over her shoulder. I don't know if you should, Ruto. Why not? Because you love me. Because you want me in a way that is more than a friend. Does that mean I should treat you as less than a friend? Naruto asked softly. Samui stopped walking and leaned into Naruto's shoulder. She suddenly turned and started crying softly into his chest. It isn't cool, it really isn't cool, it hurts so bad, Ruto. My heart hurts and I feel guilty because it hurts. I feel guilty because Ino and Temari are my friends and all I want is to have a piece of what they have. Samui's feelings were pouring into Naruto, and it was overwhelming. He felt everything she felt and understood exactly where she was coming from. If this was what his new link to Senjutsu did, he wasn't sure if he liked it. He felt like he was invading her privacy because he could feel everything, and he knew that she was being honest with him. He resigned himself to pulling her into a warm embrace and he used his natural aura to help her calm down. Once she stopped crying, he kissed her on her forehead. He did his best to ignore the 2 obvious presences that were following him and watching on. Sammy, I know you are being open and honest with me. My heart craves you too, but I couldn't ask that of the women I love. You are an amazing girl and I want you to be happy. I don't want you crying over a fool like me. Naruto whispered so the onlookers couldn't hear. Samui sniffled and separated herself from his warm embrace, then walk me home and put me to bed. I will sleep this off then it will all be cool. She offered a weak smile with her request. Naruto did just that and he walked her home while trying to keep a plutonic barrier up and Kami was it hard to keep a plutonic barrier up while holding a busty, blonde bombshell. He managed to do it though and he tucked her into bed before leaving her apartment. He didn't have to wait long for his 2 blonde lovers to make themselves known. You 2 are terrible at hiding from me. Naruto said playfully. Is she going to be alright? Temari asked, understanding that Naruto and Samui had something difficult that went beyond words. Naruto shrugged, I don't know, Mari. She is struggling with one-sided feelings. I thought I helped her deal with them in the past, but it seems like I was wrong. Ino and Temari each took an arm as they walked back to their temporary house. Ino spoke next, are they really one-sided or are you denying yourself? Naruto sighed deeply, you know me too well. Yes, I am denying myself. You both know that Kami made an exception for me to be with you too. And I am sorry that I feel that way for her, I know it isn't appropriate. Temari nudged Naruto's side. It isn't really your fault, Ruto. You have a way of connecting with people and I can tell that you connected with her. It was always at arm's reach though because you were dealing with your feelings from me and Ino. I trust you and I know you won't break our trust. Ditto. Ino chirped. The next day, Naruto joined the morning workout before he gathered up the altars, Kurama and Chomei. He informed them of some of the things that happened in the sage's temple, and he went into his new form, which they lazily dubbed level 3, since it was his third known level and he had 3 Magatama. When Naruto was in this mode, he pulled each of them back into the seal and they were able to experience everything that he went through. Naruto remained in that meditative state while everyone was reviewing what happened at the sage's temple. Yami and Kurama were the most affected and Chomei was buzzing about agitatedly in her Biju form. She knew that Naruto had it rough, but the increased sensitivity of the memories really made it difficult for her to swallow. Rias and Hikari cried throughout the experience, and it intensified during the pool of reflection. Yosuke watched on in quiet fascination as he witnessed his original do something that he likely would have struggled with. After a couple hours of meditation, Naruto brought everyone back out to have a talk. Naruto sat in the circle with his eyes closed, trying to understand what he would need to do to bring peace to his current situation. I suppose I should start by saying that I don't believe reintegrating you is the proper solution. I love each of you as brothers and sisters. Yes, even you Chomei. During my meditation, I felt you out and I was able to develop a deep understanding of you. Forgive me for linking with you without permission. Naruto's calm voice reached each of them in its own, unique way. Think nothing of it, Naruto. I know you are somebody who would never abuse my trust. Chomei responded. Rias spoke next, but her voice lacked its playfulness and joviality. Thank you, Ruto. I can't imagine how hard that was for you to go through. I can't imagine leaving Anko and baby Kushina alone in the world. For you to accept me as myself, that means a lot. Naruto nodded, his eyes still closed as he felt his alternate personalities and realized that they weren't his anymore. They were prisoners tied to him because his soul was too fragile to deal with losing them. I know that I came to peace with myself and my past. I think what we need to do is accept that we are all our own unique person. I think I need to let you go. Hikari started crying and launched herself at Naruto. No, you can't mean that. You are my big brother. I don't want to leave you. Naruto smiled in a calm and understanding way and looked down at Hikari with his golden eyes. No, Hikari, what I mean is that I need to let you each live your own lives, free of me and my seal. The others blanched at this. The pain when they were separated from Naruto for extended periods of time was intense. It was literally like their souls were being torn. Yosuke spoke up for the group. Naruto, we appreciate the sentiment, but we have all come to accept our situation. Our lovers understand it too. We appreciate the freedom and individuality we have, but we still need you. Naruto closed his eyes once more. We will see. I think that is why you each need to come to the temple. I think that was what the elder was trying to tell me. If that is what the old coot wanted to tell you, then why didn't he just say so? Rias shouted petulantly. Her fear of separating from Naruto was perhaps the greatest of the altars. 1 week later, Sage's temple. The elder of the temple was astounded by his newest pupil. The child had taken to the art of meditation naturally and his willpower to overcome himself was stronger than anything he had ever seen. Then, the child displays a connection to 3 of nature's domains within his first week at the sage's temple. If he hadn't already attained enlightenment, he would have been jealous. If he hadn't dedicated his life to Ninshu and the sage's teachings, then he likely would have feared the boy. Instead, he was blessed by the opportunity to accompany the child on a journey of enlightenment and saw something truly unique. His awe for the child almost immediately faltered when his temple was invaded by the rowdy bunch. In addition, 2 of the sage's children had returned to the temple and it made it difficult for the monks to focus. The overwhelming energy of the 2 Biju in human form distracted the monks' meditative efforts and made it nigh impossible to focus. The elder had done many things in his life, and he had trained many pupils. Never had he attempted to train 7 people at once. Never had he seen 7 people bound to the same soul. It was a truly vexing challenge, and he was praying to Kami and the sage's soul that his patience would last. He had assigned the meditative task to the group and they were having difficulties performing the task. The one named Yami was too dark and too short-sighted to see the light. The elder knew that he would be the greatest challenge. The young girl, Hikari, was too energetic and refused to settle her energy and calm down. The older girl, Rias, felt wild and untamable. The warrior, Yosuke, was a natural because he had already settled on his purpose in life. Kurama, the oldest and strongest of the sage's children, was unexpectedly pure and he was able to mirror the sage's meditative practice. Chomei, the positive child of the sage, was recently stricken with grief and couldn't overcome that. In each other's presence, they were unable to focus and meditate properly. They were too easily distracted, despite the original being there in a perfect state of meditative bliss. That gave the elder an idea. Naruto Senju, please come with me. The elder spoke softly yet his voice reverberated around the chamber. Yes, elder. Naruto responded before walking with the elder out onto the backyard. The elder proceeded to explain his plan and Naruto consented to it. The two returned to the meditative chamber an hour later to see very little progress was made. Rias, my child, you will go with Naruto into the room of isolation. The rest of you will spread out around the temple, away from each other, and try to explore yourselves. Remember, you are trying to understand who you are, what you want and what you are missing. Focus on only one of these questions at a time. Yes, elder, the group said before splitting up. Naruto walked into the room of isolation with Rias and guided her to the tatami mats on the ground in the center of the unique room. Rias calmed in Naruto's presence and Naruto's sage mode faded because he was no longer connected to nature. This would let him focus on his connection to Rias. Riri, let us take a seat and link hands. I want you to focus on what I am to you. I want to connect and understand you and how you have grown into a beautiful woman that is distinct from me. Naruto said calmly. If you say so, Ruto. Rias said with a smile before she sat and calmed herself. The two linked hands and focused on their connection. They focused on the other before drawing their attention into themselves. After a couple of motionless hours where Rias entered a trance state, she opened her eyes and understood. She understood what she was missing and what tied her to Naruto. I get it, Ruto. You are my anchor, my rock and my support. A wild child can only be so for so long before it hurts itself and those around them. You never let me lose myself or take it that far. Rias said as tears started percolating from her ducts. Naruto smiled but remained with his eyes closed. You, Riri, are the older sister I always wanted but never had. You taught me to enjoy life and just be myself. You were the stubborn part of me that told me to never care about what those who didn't know the real Naruto Uzumaki thought. I needed you then and I need you now, but I need you to be free. Rias closed her eyes in understanding and leaned forward to press her head against Naruto's. They remained frozen like this for hours and when they opened their eyes, Naruto knew that everything would be alright. Rias was always welcome but no longer tethered to him as a part of Naruto Senju Uzumaki. She was now his sister, Rias Senju. When they left the room, Naruto gave her a kiss on the cheek and went to collect Yosuke. He knew this one would be the easiest to deal with and the light was fading on the day. Yosuke followed Naruto into the room of isolation and it appeared as if he had already come to an understanding within himself. Naruto sat down facing him and the two interlocked hands and focused on syncing their energies. Within an hour, Yosuke spoke up with his eyes still closed. I always felt like it was my job to protect you and those we love. I still wish to do so, but the ones I must protect the most are my own family. I will always be loyal to you, Naruto Uzumaki. I will always love you, but I request you let me go to my family. They are the ones that need me most. Naruto smiled and opened his eyes. Go free, brother. I am strong enough to protect myself. Now, I ask that you protect all those that we hold dear. The two rose to their feet and embraced in a snug man hug. It is a thing that only two men that love each other like brothers would ever understand and those two understood that. Naruto felt peace settle within himself and understood that Yosuke was no longer linked to him. Like Rias, he would always be an available retreat, but the tether was no longer there. Naruto and Yosuke arrived at the inn to find the rest of the altars, Kurama and Chomei eating dinner in the dining area. They joined them at the table and shared their experience and mutual understanding. Naruto could sense Yami's apprehension and Hikari's nervousness. They didn't speak throughout the meal, and they went to bed without saying a word. Naruto understood that it was something that they needed to process alone, and he left them to it. The next day, Naruto escorted Hikari into the room of isolation and synced with her. Naruto took an hour to calm her agitation and excitable energy, but he managed to do it after a while. When he felt Hikari come to an understanding, he decided to take the lead. Little sister, that is what you are and what you will always be. You are the family I always wanted, and I was too scared to let you go. I was terrified of losing you because I felt like you were the strongest source of light in my life. You represented the purpose for me to always move forward and to never give up. I accept my own weakness and I have found my light. What I want from you is for you to live your own life and be happy. Hikari instantly started crying, but it was happiness and no longer fear that inspired her tears. I love you, Naruto. I always looked up to you like a big brother and you always showed me the right way in the world. You showed me how to spread my light. I will do my best to accept my new role as your true little sister. She paused here for a second and whispered in a rapid fashion. And I am dating Shikamaru. Naruto belted out a laugh and pulled Hikari into a hug. I know, Hikari, I had dreams of your time with him. I am happy for you. Hikari wanted to ask how long he has known or why he never said anything, but instead she relented and returned his hug. She came to peace with being her own woman and realized that she needed to grow up. I love you, Ruto. I love you too, sis. If Shika hurts you, I will not hesitate to whoop his ass. As Hikari skipped out of the room of isolation, Naruto saw Yami there waiting for him. Yami nodded toward the room and Naruto smiled. The two walked in silently and Yami wanted to have a conversation before they got into things. I am sorry, Naruto. I realized yesterday that you don't need me, it is I need you. Yami said hesitantly. Naruto smiled at Yami and did his best Itachi imitation by poking him in the head. Barker, I did need you. I still need you. But I don't need you as my dark half. I don't need you as a part of me. I need you as my brother. Yami started shedding tears and he closed his black eyes and red-slitted pupils. He calmed himself down and he felt Naruto's calming presence overwhelm him. He felt vines grow up out of the floor and wrap around him. He didn't feel anything happening with the vines, but he closed his eyes and sank into the meditative trance. The feelings of rage, bitterness and anger slowly faded and he was able to focus on his connection to Naruto. He was able to see the world clearly and a calm pervaded throughout his body that he had never felt before. On the other side of the meditative link, Naruto knew what he had to do for Yami. He calmed his aura enough to do a push and pull act. He pushed in his positive feelings like love of family, companionship, and the love he had for Ino and Temari. He pulled out the darkness, the bitterness and the rage that Yami had contained for him for all those years. He accepted the negative feelings and was able to process them. That was what the Mokuton was for, it was to pull out the impure yokai that Yami had originally formed from, and he purified that essence before letting it rejoin Yami. Naruto pulled his counterpart into an embrace before placing his forehead on Yami's. He spoke softly, yet firmly, brother, I no longer need you to carry my burdens of the past. I no longer need you to contain my rage and anger. All I wish for you is to find happiness. Be my brother and find the light that lights up your world. Tears poured from Yami's eyes and snot hung from his nose. It was as if the purification of Yami demanded that he cry it out. Yami felt drained of the anger, relieved of the resentment and he felt peace overcome him as Naruto severed the tether that bound Yami to his soul. I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything, brother. Just love me back, Naruto whispered. The two remained forehead to forehead for a while. When they parted and Yami opened his eyes, Naruto noticed he had the same azure blue eyes as himself and the sclera was a normal white. The feelings were processed and even the air of the room of isolation danced with a positive energy. Naruto was positively glowing with energy as his soul settled itself and he knew that he only had one thing left to do. Naruto walked Yami out to the back and told him to just sit and think near the pool of reflection. He cautioned him not to go in the water, but it was a truly peaceful spot and Yami still had a bit to think about. Naruto went and found Kurama and Chomei before he sensed the elder and went to make his request. The elder nodded respectfully and waited to hear his request. Elder, I wish to take these two to the room where the sage created them. The elder nodded slowly. Very well, follow me. The four walked in silence toward the room where the sage breathed his last. It was as he was dying that the sage created the Biju, and he was only able to spend a few days with them before his passing. It was in this room that the 9 creations, or children, of the Sage of 6 Paths were formed and given purpose. As they entered the room, Kurama and Chomei were overcome with emotions as memories of their father played through their minds. The positive memories were followed by centuries of mistrust, neglect, hate, and all of the other negative aspects of humanity. Naruto took a seat in the center of the circle of 9 Magatama when the elder had closed the door to the room. Kurama and Chomei each took up their respective positions, and 2 of the 9 torches in the room lit up. The trio remained in a reverent silence for a while before Naruto decided to speak. I am not trying to be your father. I am not trying to replace your father. I am trying to understand my role in the new cycle, and I know it is linked to you. I wish to become the bridge between humanity and Biju. I wish to protect you and count you as members of my family. After Naruto's words, the room fell silent save for the crackling of torches. Naruto entered a deep trance and waited for Kurama's and Chomei's response. Memories of the sage talking to the Biju flitted through his mind, and he instinctively knew they were not his own. He knew that he could never replace the greatness of the man that saved the world from the Juubi and created 9 of the most powerful beings on the planet. Kurama broke him from his trance. Kit, no, Naruto. You have grown into a man that I respect. You are no longer my Kit because you are my partner. I believe that is what us Biju need, is a partner. I will not speak for my brethren, but I committed myself to trusting you, body, chakra and soul. My place is within you. Kurama spoke seriously. Silence returned to the chamber for another couple of minutes. Naruto was linked to Kurama in a way that words weren't needed, and he knew that Chomei had to come to a decision on her own. Finally, she did. Naruto Senju Uzumaki, I do not know if my place is within you, but I do know it is with you. I will work towards your goals and trust you. If you are my destined partner, then I will accept that. If you are not, I request your assistance in finding the human I am meant to be bound with. Chomei spoke softly. Naruto beamed a smile that lit up the room. Then join me in leaving the past in the past. We are here to drive the world forward into a new age. An age of ninja, or at least a more modern application of it. Naruto's serious tone faded here. I don't think I could be like these monks all of the time. I want to live life, enjoy love, revel in spontaneity and savor every second I have left on this plane. Kurama chuckled, thank Kami for that. You were starting to freak me out there, Ruto. Up in the heavenly realm, there was a viewing party for Naruto's whole time in the sage's temple. Kami had extended a forceful invite to the sage, Indra and Ashura specifically for this part of the show. Kami was wearing a victorious smile as she looked down on the 3. Do you see now why I removed you from the endless cycle? Her tone was righteous, not haughty. The sage bowed, yes, Lady Kami, it appears the world is in good hands. The 2 brother, Hemford, but said nothing else. They left without another word, and the sage apologized before dismissing himself. Kushina stepped up and nudged Kami in the side. I bet that felt good. Kushina said through giggles. You have no idea. Your son is more than I ever asked for. Kami said with a fond smile on her lips. A man's wailing interrupted the girl talk. Wah. Wah. Hashirama was creating a lake through big anime tears. I am so proud of him. He is such a good boy. Hashirama continued to wail in pride, and Tobirama could be seen ducking out of the frame. Yes, Hashi-kun, we are all proud of him. Mito said while patting his head like a child. Minato chuckled and looked at Kushina. I am not that bad, am I? Kami giggled and Kushina laughed. In your own unique way, dear husband. In your own unique way. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.